Hello, this is Gemini IT, your local Tonic point-of-sale systems dealer. This is our latest front-of-the-house training for the Tonic point-of-sale system for table service restaurants. So what we see in front of us is the login screen and clock-in screen for all staff. I'm going to spend about 30 minutes going through the various features and functions of the Tonic point-of-sale system on the full-size terminal to front of the house. As always, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. Our support number is 888-406-4940. You can select the option for the service department and someone will take care of you. So to clock in, we're going to hit clock in down here in the bottom left and key in our PIN. That could be either 4 digits or 3 digits or whatever. If you make a mistake, you can correct the last digit you entered in by hitting the single back arrow, or clear out the whole entry by hitting the double back arrows, and then re-enter your PIN number. And then you clock in, and it will print out a slip for you. So now you're clocked in, and we will log in with our ID here. And for table service, I'm taken to my first main table layout. We can change these colors, we can rearrange the tables, and my suggestion for anyone on the front of the house, if you see something that needs to be changed in any way, please communicate that to your management and have them get it to us, and then we will be glad to make those changes for you just as fast as we can. Since we have multiple rooms here, we're going to select the button over here on the left to be able to change those rooms. And as we'll see when we enter an order, these tables change colors and provide various information as to what's going on with the table. The to-go, if I change the order name, it will have the guest name and phone number up here if I enter that in. So for dining room, let's pick table 11 down here at the bottom left. We have prompted for the number of seats. Let's say there's 4 guests at the table. And we have a rule that requires a beverage for every seat at the table. So as I'm entering these in, it is always best practice, as I have 4 people at the table. Let's say the first guest, and this defaults to seat number 1 as we see here. First guest got a Coke, the second guest got a Diet Dr. Pepper, the third guest got a half and half tea, and the fourth guest ordered a beer. So we'll go to our beer category over here, and they decided we'll go to bottled beers, and let's say they decided to have a Coors Light. So there are my guests with each seat, the item that they ordered, and let's say the table wanted set an order of cheese fries for the table. So appetizers, and we'll just go ahead and put that on guest 1 for now, and cheese fries. And they want cheddar, but they don't want ranch, so I won't select that. Maybe they want an extra plate, so I could highlight the item here and go to my action modifiers, since these are general common modifiers across so many different things. So if I want an extra plate, I pick up the upcharge for that. And now I can send this to the kitchen. Now I'll get an error message here because I don't have a kitchen printer hooked up to this training terminal, so we'll just hit OK to ignore that. But notice I have my table set there. So that's a quick rundown of how to enter an order into the Tonic point of sale system. Pretty easy. Let's select another table. This time we'll go to go, and we get a call-in order. Let's say we'll go to go. We'll select the table number. Only 1 seat, so we'll skip that. I'm going to rename it. So I'll highlight the order name here. Click my double arrow to get rid of that. And I will put in, let's just say Chuck. Whoops, sorry, did not mean to do that. Order name. And maybe I gather a phone number. Whoops. Go back in here. and I'll hit the space button instead of the enter button, and 918-555-1212. Now I'll hit the enter button, and that renames the order. So now I can click on my menu button here, and let's say they want a burger. So we'll click on burgers, and they want a cheeseburger. Now I get my modifiers with some prefixes here. Notice that with is defaulted. So if they want a cheeseburger with mayonnaise, pickles, onions, and lettuce, but no bun. There we go. And I can put these in any order that would be most appropriate. Hit apply. They don't want the salad bar, so we'll just skip that. And they want okra to go along with it. So there's my order, and I'll hit send to fire that off to the kitchen. Notice now my table layout shows the name and the phone number of the person that called in that order. So let's go back and start messing with checks. We've seen what takes up 95% of the orders that you all get. Let's start manipulating that. I'll go to table 11 because we haven't entered in any entrees yet. So we've got 4 people here that are going to have some food. We'll go to entrees. Notice the entrees are split up: steaks and chops, seafood, barbecue, chicken and pasta, and good eat. So let's seat 1 is going to have the sirloin. So we'll sirloin, and they're going to have it medium, and they want to add an extra 2 ounces to their steak. Here are my steak enhancements. Maybe they don't want to do that, but they do want to add blackened seasoning. So I'll select that, and they're going to have the salad bar. And then for their side, they're going to have the sweet baked potato. So great. So there's that order for seat 1. Seat 2, you know what? They're just going to have a salad. So we'll select seat 2, salads. Maybe they're going to have the Cobb salad, and they're going to have some chicken on that with Italian dressing. Seat 3, they're going to have a burger. We'll go back to the Brooklyn Bomber, and they would just like mayonnaise only, and some tomatoes on the side. So on the side, tomatoes. And they're going to have the salad bar as well. And then they're going to have the steamed broccoli as their side. Seat 4, let's see. Let's give them, it's lunchtime, so let's go to the lunch menu, go to lunch plates, and they're going to have the catfish basket. And they're going to have the salad bar, and then they're going to have fresh cut fries to go with that. So now we have all of our entrees, and we'll send that off to the kitchen. So now food's coming out. I go back to table 11. You guys good to go? Can I get you dessert? Anything? No, we're stuffed, man. Thank you so much. Are we all together? Now, a lot of times you guys in the food service industry will ask that question up front. One of the benefits of keying in your seats up front is if everybody is separate, you could come in here, hit table 11, hit this hamburger icon over here on the left, and hit print by seats. If I do that, I could print all together, which is maybe the default. If one of the guests is staying, I could just select 3 of the guests that are leaving and hit print. But if everybody's leaving, I hit print. I'm going to get an error because I don't have a printer hooked up to this demo screen, but that's okay. But now I get 4 separate checks with everything on it. But there's a problem. When I scroll back up here and I look at cheese fries, seat 1 is paying for the cheese fries. Let's say that it's 2 couples sitting there, and the couples are going to split the cheese fries across their checks, and there's only going to be 2 checks. So here we go. Show you how easy it is to split a check and split an item. So we'll hit the hamburger icon again, and we're going to hit split right up here. Now I'll get a second check. So since I do have 4 guests, but I only need 2 checks, I've got everything on the screen that I need. And while some servers are really comfortable doing this on a handheld as well, some servers, especially if I'm splitting 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 checks, I may find it easier to split checks on a larger terminal so I have a larger screen to see. But I've seen seasoned servers, once you get used to things, just rock and roll through this. Now, obviously, if I just need the 4 checks, I would just hit print split by seat and be done. This one's a little different. I have 4 seats, but I only need 2 checks, and I'm splitting the appetizer. So here we go. So seats 2 and 4 are together. So the Dr. Pepper, the Coors Light, the Cobb salad, scroll down here, and the catfish basket are all on the check. And I'm going to, over here on this table L-1, which is my second guest check on table 11. Whoops. I'm going to hit this arrow right here, move those items over. The only thing that's left to deal with is the cheese fries. So I'm going to highlight the cheese fries. Notice down here at the bottom, I get split item. So I'm splitting it across 2 checks. So I'm going to split it in half. If I were splitting it across 3 checks, I'd go 1 into 3. If I was splitting it across all 4 seats, I'd go 1 into 4. I'm splitting it in half. Now notice I get half of a cheese fry, half of a cheese fry. I touch one of them, I come up here to my little arrow, and that moves them over. So now I can hit print all, and it will print out 2 separate guest checks, and I'm ready to pay the checkout. During Go Live and on-site training, we'll talk about how to pay checks out, take payments, because we're not going to take credit card payments or anything like that on this demo unit. Excuse me very much. So that's basic order entry. If we want to talk about liquor menus and some of the things that has to do with that, I think that's important. Under beer, that's split up. We saw that earlier, split up under your drafts and bottled beer. Every restaurant's the same. Every restaurant's different. For this particular site, we split up the draft pours into the various sizes here with the appropriate prices. The bottled beers, here are the bottles here for some of the domestics, the imports, and some of the others that are there. Under liquor, we have one button up here, one menu, if you will, for liquor, but with all the different types of liquors underneath. So, a couple different things to point out. If I want a rum and coke, just a well rum and coke, then I'm going to come in here, hit liquor, go to my rums, pick the well liquor. It's going to take me off to my liquor mixers. So I'll go rum. I want on the rocks, and where's Coke? And Coke, kind of right there in the color. Maybe I should change the color of that. We'll see. So I highlighted that. So now I've got a rum and Coke on the rocks. Let's say there's a whiskey, and we have a lot of whiskeys in this particular liquor menu. If you know where they are, you can just navigate back and forth with the left and right buttons there. But let's say you were kind of unsure where something is, which category something is in. Do we have a Smirnoff vodka? Let me check. Yeah, we do. Okay, so let's pretend that I don't know what Smirnoff is. I'm going to go over here to my hamburger icon again, and I'm going to select search names. So if I type in Smirnoff, just S-M-I-R, and hit enter, it will show me every item on my menu that has S-M-I-R in it. There's my Smirnoff. I don't want any of the flavored vodkas, so I hit that and it takes me to my modifier. So maybe a Smirnoff, and I want orange juice. Okay, and I want it on the rocks. So we'll go up here. So basically I make myself a screwdriver. Double shot of vodka, so I'll go double 3 ounces up there. And I apply modifiers. That's going to give me my pricing and do whatever I need to do with it. So those are some really cool things to do, and I can hit the menu button to get me back to my categories again. With if you don't know where something is, I'm trying to find, let's say, maybe we have a dessert item that has, what kind of cookies do you have? I don't know. We'll go search name, and we'll type in COOK. I found the only item, the cookie sundae, and it went ahead and put it on the menu because there was only one. Now, because this hasn't been sent to the kitchen, I can highlight that and hit void, and I can take that off. Okay, so that search names can be helpful to you if you don't know where something is in the menu, or if it's under one of the mini liquors and you're not quite sure where it's at. If somebody says, well, if I've got a wine list, I ought to be able as a guest to know what red wines we have. But if I go wine and I hit red wines, if I look here in the greenish blue color, those are the multiple pour size wines that we have. So if I want the J. Lord Merlot, I can touch that and it will show the various sizes. So I'll pick a 5-ounce small glass, 9-ounce large glass, or if I want the bottle, if I want the 9-ounce pour, it'll give me the price for that. Down in the yellow here, we have where it says BTL. These are sold by bottle only. Okay, and that's reflected in the appropriate wine list. So that is a general overview of the menu categories across the top. Sections, items, adding seats, splitting checks, sending stuff to the kitchen, that type of thing here with Tonic Point of Sale. Some heads up. Let me go ahead and send this off, and we'll go back into the check. Notice here at table 11, it shows that I have 2 checks. So there's the 2 checks. Which one am I adding this to? Select it, print, pay, whatever I'm doing with it. What I wanted to show here are just some common things that we want to bring to servers' attention. This little eye right here can be helpful, but it can also create some confusion. If I touch the eye, it will, whoops. If I touch the eye, it will separate my guest check up into sections. So there's all the beverages, there's all the entrees, there's all the sandwiches. Why is this arranged like that? Well, it's because I touched the eye. So if you untouch the eye, then it goes back to the other way around. There's really not much else to talk about over here under the hamburger section. We talked about split. This allows me to merge tickets. We talked about printing by seats. Transfers, what you would use to transfer a check from one server to another. Creating a new order. We talked about search names. You won't use deposits. Kitchen instructions. This is kind of a group catch-all for if I need to send the kitchen a particular instruction. I've got a few quick buttons here. If I need to send it to the bar, I would highlight that one. If I needed to send to the Kitchen Expo, I would highlight there. I can also come in here to this blank space and type a special message to the kitchen if I needed to do that. And that would send a message to the kitchen along with the entire check. Other than that, I'm going to cancel this order. And I do want to cover discounts and tax exempt. Sorry. So if I have an item that I want to give a discount to, I can highlight the item and hit complimentary percentage here. And whatever discounts are approved by management would be here. That could be applied. If I have a table with one person who has a tax exempt card, I could highlight their items, whatever it may be, and I get the tax exemption. And the one rule is here is hit the tax exempt that says sales tax, because liquor tax cannot be exempted. Okay. We talked about adding comments to a particular item. We talked about avoiding a particular item. You might get people who want to reorder things. So if I did my Smirnoff double on the rocks with orange juice, I can hit duplicate and it will duplicate that. And that of course works for not just liquor drinks, but somebody orders catfish, salad bar, and okra, and somebody else goes, I want that too. Just highlight the item, hit duplicate, or bring it in manually. Sometimes one is faster than the other. Okay. Alright, and then if I come in here to the whole order, if I touch the table number up here at the top, this is where I can rename the order if I need to. I can change the number of seats. I can edit the gratuity. Now if we have 8 people or more, it's going to add the particular percentage automatically. But I can come in here and I can change the percentage, and I may need permissions to do that. Or I can put a particular dollar amount in here as well. So that's discounts and some of those things. That percent discount is complimentary. If I have a $1 off coupon, I would come in here, highlight that, and then I could key in $1 off. Tax exempt for the whole order would be here. Voiding the whole order would be here. So we're going to void the whole order just for grins, and I'm going to key in my training. I can put in comments in there why we did that. When I zero out an order like that, be sure you hit close. And yes, so the order doesn't remain open. And then we've got our to-go order here. I'm going to come in here, and we're going to 100% comp this. So complimentary, open, and I have privileges to do this right now, but obviously to do 100% comp, you're going to want to have manager approval. Notice that's down to 0. So when I've zeroed out a ticket, be sure you hit close over here to close that order out so it's not still remaining open. And then of course we have the other order over here to close out. So I'm going to leave this open just to show what would happen if I would try to cash out with open orders. So if I hit the orders button down here, it shows that I have an open order. So in order to end your shift, you either need to transfer the check to another server or make sure you've closed the order out. We'll talk about adding tips. Tips are entered in down here under where it says Order Batch Reports and Tools. You're going to click on Batch and you're going to select Tips, and we'll go through how to enter in tips, but typically this is checked unadjusted only because you really don't want to see a list of payments that were made by card that have already have a tip on them. But you may want to uncheck that to double check yourself, but usually that's checked. Since you're logged in, you can hit by user and select your name. Now I don't have any orders that have been paid by credit card, so that's why we get that message. I can, if I look at the credit card authorization slip, I may want to search for a particular credit card authorization slip by name, so I would, or by order number, so I would click search and key that in here to find that particular one, so I can search that way. I can see all of them, and typically we don't use the others here, but that way to search and find out to make sure you're keying in the tip on the correct guest check is there for you. So we give you a lot of ways to get to that grid of entering in tips. All right. So since we have this order we need to take care of, let's say this order just, somebody wanted a quote on something like that and we just forgot to clear it out. I'm going to come up here and hit void and void the order. And we're going to track it and log what was going on. And, we can say quote only as far as comments and things like that in here. Now I'm going to hit close. And so now I can close out the order. So now I'm ready to go. One of the things that I do want to point out, some servers will say to us, hey, I can't see my orders. Make sure that this all tab is selected here, because if I'm here, I'm only seeing open orders for the back room of the bar or the dining room or the patio, or open orders for to go. Okay, so if you don't see a particular order listed here, make sure you select all and you'll be able to see all of those orders. We'll talk about future orders in a separate video of how to do that. Online orders that come in will come in through here. So that's how we can reference those types of orders. I'm going to go batch. We've entered in our tips. We're ready to check out. I don't haven't rung up any sales, so this is why this users is grayed out. But I hit cash management over here, and I will select users, and it will print out my cash out report. And since tips are paid out in different ways, we'll discuss the end user, the end of shift user settlement report uniquely there. So some things to be aware of with the Tonic point of sale system. Um, the data, yes, is stored in the cloud, but the data is also stored locally. It is important that all of the terminals, all the printers are on. Whoever opens the store, and I realize that might not be a front of the house server, but just in looking at the front of the house, one of the things we want managers to be sure that you do when you log on and you're at this screen, click this health button and make sure everything is green. Now my printers aren't connected, so that's why they are yellow. They are redirecting. But make sure everything's green. If something is red, for example, this site has two regular terminals and 6 handhelds. If one of those handhelds is turned off, or the battery ran down, or setting somewhere outside the Wi-Fi coverage, it's going to show red. You're going to want to make sure that it's on, powered up, ready to go. The payment terminal associated with all of this is good. You're going to want to make sure that that everything is green. If not, check your power, check your ribbons, check your paper, check to make sure things are turned on, check your cables, and that sort of thing. We can, here at Gemini IT, remote in to regular POS terminals. We cannot remote into handhelds. We do have a way for you to give us access to view what's going on that handheld, but we're here to support you and here to make sure your restaurant is a success beyond where it already is today. And we appreciate everything that you do for us in trusting Gemini IT, Tonic Point of Sale, as we continue to grow together. Thank you so much.